Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 13th episode of Weaving Myths Season 3. Weaving Myths is a podcast focused on tabletop role-playing games, and specifically playing them through the play-by-post format. I'm your host, Nathan, and joining me today are Colin.
Hello, everyone.
Eric.
Good evening.
And Amy.
Hi!
We are all staff at Mythweavers, one of the largest play-by-post gaming websites in existence, and we're here to help you bring your game to the next level. If you're not familiar with Mythweavers, you can find it at myth-weavers.com. As always, we are joined by the impeccable text chat, which members of Mythweavers are using right now to ask questions and contribute to the discussion. If you too would like to be part of the text chat, feel free to join us on the Mythweavers Twitch channel at twitch.tv/weavingmyths. This week, we'll be talking about the most dreadful of topics: moderation.
Yeah, how long did we put this off?
A very long time.
A while.
A season and a half at least.
Yeah, people have been asking for it though, which is I find kind of odd.
But we had to at least plan a day in advance, and that's so atypical for us. Usually, we totally don't tend to write every episode 30 minutes before the show.
Yeah, but I think people have wanted clarity on moderation.
True.
And so, yeah.
And because Nathan made us start a podcast.
Transparency.
I just do that community engagement thing.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's all about creating the community that we want to have here on Mythweavers. That's what we do. The moderators are not here to be hammer wielders, although that's part of our job. Our job is to make it so that everyone can have fun playing games. That's what we do.
Together.
So, since I am the most junior of the admin staff, it fell to me to actually write the script for this. And because I'm lazy or writing's not my strong suit, I went back to my 6th grade how do you write an essay and started with the who, what, where, when, why, and how questions, and I just arranged it around that. And of course that makes it kind of, I don't know, juvenile, other than this is an opportunity for all of my colleagues out here to chime in. So we'll kind of play this with I'm going to introduce the topic, and then we'll take turns and bounce questions off each other. And we did get a number of great questions from site members who are contributing on the brand new Mythweavers Weaving Myths podcast pre-channel question thread, which I'm sure Nathan will link forthwith.
I'm sure I will.
Alacrity. Yeah.
Weaving Myths pre-podcast questions is the title.
Yes. There we go.
Yes,
I was close, and I wasn't even looking at it. All right, so let's talk about who are we? There's, maybe 10 of us, 12 of us now? I don't know. Does anyone actually keep track?
Staff list and counting.
Yeah. Okay. So, but let's start from the top. Rodrigo, he's the big boss. He's the one who started the site after all, and it's his baby. So if you don't know Rodrigo, you really should. He's a wonderful person and has a absolutely amazing bass voice.
Yes, that is.
And a really great sense of humor.
Yes.
After all, he is actually the one that sent me the Chicken Rodrigo picture.
That is true. Yeah, it wasn't like, he could have given anything. He could give himself a picture of a costume in Sweeney Todd, because he does opera and operetta and musicals and all that. But no, he gave you the chicken suit.
Which I just adore. So
Just perfect.
It is.
All right. But enough about Rodrigo. We could probably go on for an hour for that, and he would hate us for it. And
Yes, he would.
He would.
But we should continue.
That might be how I can escape.
No.
No.
Sorry.
No.
There is no way out.
No.
Right.
You're the one that told me there's no way out, so come on.
Since you brought up yourself, I'll just jump down to there. Colin.
No. We'll go in order of who helped create the site first. Let's get those three out of the way.
Fine. Yep. So then there's David. David is an amazing code monkey, and he's been here since before the very beginning, so he has full history on the site, and
Yep.
his day job is also coding, so he gets a lot busy, and his time available kind of comes and goes, just like the rest of us, really. But he's now, I think, back more active, and we're glad to have his talents, especially
Very
on
much so.
especially on redacted stuff.
David is the eldest, yes.
And then we've got Michael.
Yeah, Michael the Banhammerer. He definitely had the reputation for
Oh God, yes.
short fuse, but he also was an amazing database administrator. Kept the site running through all sorts of upgrades that by all right, are very difficult to manage. And he's now, I think, happily retired and doing wonderful stuff.
Yes.
Is he still in Singapore
Or Australia.
or Australia? I can't remember which.
For
he
a
moved to
while, he was going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Oosh,
Before
that's
retirement.
the commute.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was contracting.
Still.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rodrigo, David, and Michael were the original three. The three of them together are the ones that made Mythweavers, got it coded up. If you ask Rodrigo or David about those early days, they're gonna whinge a lot about what they did with the code that they regret. But
Yeah. That's pretty much standard. As a professional code monkey myself, I can tell you that my worst days are the ones where I have to confront the mistakes that I made last week.
Yeah. Getting that minimal viable product out and then going back and looking at said minimal viable product, you're like, how does that even work?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
pretty much.
Yeah. I'm not a code monkey. I'm married to one, so I do understand this.
Dinner time conversation.
Yeah. And every other time conversation.
Yeah, pretty much. So then we have
Now.
Colin. Colin is number 4 in that he raised his hand and said, "I'd like to help." And then Rodrigo said, "How about you manage member relations for us?" And Colin said, "Yes."
Now, I'd like to point out that's actually not Rodrigo's fault. I was brought on primarily to handle appeals and got tricked into becoming an admin. Member relations was self-inflicted because we needed it. So I can't actually lay that current title at Rodrigo's feet.
That's true. But you have tried and failed to escape twice.
Oh,
think.
No, just once.
Just twice? More than that.
Just once. I was told very explicitly that the only way to get out of the role after I came back from a couple-year hiatus was if I stopped coming to the site altogether.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh, it
The
was
only
a
way out is in a box.
it really was a you can be dead to the site and escape the role, or you can be an admin here still.
No.
Yeah, pretty.
Okay. Oh, kitty.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. All right. Now we have the mascot.
Come, Mr. Bigglesworth.
No, she doesn't sit on my lap. She has to sit up here.
Where she can feel your heartbeat so that she knows where to rip it out.
Exactly.
2,000 years of predator DNA.
Oh yes, Predator DNA for sure.
Yeah.
You're happy?
All right. So then the
It's
5th
you.
administrator. It's me. Somehow I decided to volunteer for helping out the site like 10 plus years ago now, and I'm apparently
a
too dumb
decade
to
as
leave.
of October 11th, I think it was.
Yeah. I really am too dumb to leave.
So in Eric's case, we didn't trick him into becoming an admin. We straight up all video called him.
Yeah. Said, "Thanks for sticking around. Now here's your new title. Get to work."
Pretty much, hey, by the way, we're making you an admin. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
You've been here 10 years. We know you're not leaving outside of a box.
Right. That box comment came back.
To haunt you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I've taken on a role of being a system integrator because that's what I do. And as Colin will tell you, I'm the purveyor of nice words.
Yes. Eric used to be an officer in the Navy. He has them fancy words.
Mm-hmm.
He knows all the words, the best words.
All of the words.
The 50 cents and the dollars.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, down.
Then we have...
Next most senior on the staff, Nathan.
The
That's
other
me.
fool.
His 10-year anniversary is coming up soon.
Is it?
Are you gonna make him an admin too?
I haven't decided how to reward him.
It's too soon to be scaring him off.
Sorry.
So there is no way to leave.
That's
No,
true. There is
not
no way
really.
to leave.
I thought it was 5 years. Because
Really?
didn't I thought I started being staff in 2014.
Dang. You were pseudo staff before that. You were doing something else.
No, he was a wiki mod. That counts as staff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before you put on the full blue. Back then it was red. Back when I started, we were dark red. Then it got changed because it
That
was
was
too hard
before
to
me.
read.
December 30th, 2011. Moderator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess Jesus.
It's at 8 years now and counting.
Yes, we do track these things. Mostly so we can torment the people that stay around.
Yeah, pretty much.
Reward, praise their commitment.
Actually, speaking of reward. Oh, okay, that's for later. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remembered the notes at the last second. Went, oh,
Okay.
Alright.
So
And-
and then
Well,
Yeah,
I will
full-
say, so Nathan, aside from general moderation, also does our social media stuff and keeps coming up with ideas and not realizing they're going to get away from him before he
Yeah.
can stop it.
yeah, pretty much.
the Discord
mean-
server, yeah, that's him. The
Podcast.
Reading Myths podcast, yeah, that's him.
It was all good ideas. So.
Yeah. Storefront.
Depends on the
No,
day
wait.
you ask him.
Today
Shush, stop
may
giving
not
away
be a
stop
good
giving
idea.
away our plans, Eric.
I said nothing.
Yeah. The Discord was kind of an accident.
That's a happy accident, though.
That
is.
was not an accident, that was on purpose.
I mean, it was a suggestion. I wasn't exactly sure that you guys would roll with it.
So
So-
Nathan said, "Hey, what do you think about starting a Discord?" And he didn't realize that I've been complaining. Early days of Mythweavers, we had the shout box. It was a live text chat embedded in the site.
I've
It
heard
was-
horror stories about the show.
It was great, but oh my god, it ate server resources, which is why it eventually went away. So when Nathan came to me and went, "Hey, what do you think about Discord?" I went, "Oh hell yes, it's like Shoutbox 2.0." And
Well, we tried IRC for a little while. We tried Skype for.
We tried
Skype?
IRC.
oh, Skype for a long time. Skype was how the staff communicated.
Well,
Yes,
I mean,
it was-
for the staff
Communicated.
I can see that.
But yeah, so the Discord and the podcast are Nathan's fault, and I don't think Nathan realized at the time that Rodrigo and I regularly text each other, so
Probably not.
he asked about the Discord, and I texted Rodrigo, and he signed off on it as he didn't have to do anything, and we had a Discord within like an hour and a half of Nathan asking. Oops.
Yeah.
I just work here, y'all.
All right. So then there's the rest of the team. I mean,
Yeah,
there's Amy,
the
obviously.
rest
She's
of
here.
us.
Yeah. Amy, Whisper, Fossil Firebird, Cleo, Katra, Josh, Ambika, Fate. Did I miss anyone? Is that everyone?
Ruben.
Ruben.
You forgot Ruben.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Eric.
You heathen.
But we actually
Shame.
all have our own little niches that
Yep.
we have been brought on to help with.
Yes. Which we'll get to as far as the how does one become staff thing.
Right. Well, I mean,
We'll get there.
that was one of the questions actually that was asked by our wonderful forum goer. So Penchant asked, "How do you invite people to be mods? How do you decide to invite people to be mods? Is there a nomination process, secret ballot, handshake thing, white smoke coming from the chimneys?"
No, just one big list.
No, that's actually later. So in the early days, and it's actually how Eric joined, we actually did open calls for volunteers. And it was hell. It was absolute hell. I was still the open call for moderators that got Eric joined. I was 2 months into staff, I think, Eric. 3 months.
Something like that.
Yeah, I was still brand new to staff. I'd been an admin for a whole month. And the problem with doing an open call is you get people you know. And that's also a bad thing. You get people you know.
Mhm.
And
People
then
who want to grind an axe.
you get, and then you'll get people you don't know. But like Eric said, it's open calls for recruitment are a nightmare just because you're trying to figure out, just based on how someone is on a forum, how they'll handle a role with actual power on the site. And it's honestly, best I can say, we've gotten overall lucky with that. We've had precious few issues, and that's been fantastic. But we moved away. Trying to think. God,
Was Nathan's? I think there was a about that time there was a call, but that was probably the last one we've done. So it's
I
been,
was gonna say that happened right before I went on something like a 3-year hiatus.
Mhm.
And by the time I came back, we were done with open calls. I'm sure I missed absolute hell somewhere in there.
There weren't really
You lucked
problems,
out.
but
Open calls just suck.
it's not really all that much different than when you're talking about, say, gathering players to play in a game. You're going to have some that just ghost. You're going to have some that find that the assignment isn't what they thought it was, and so they say, I need to step aside. There have been a couple where it's been they found a niche that they wanted to work in, and then we didn't need it anymore. I mean, Monk Ren was an absolute treasure moderating Worldly Talk. No one else could have possibly done that. But as that role went, the need for that role went away, he decided that it was time for him to step aside too.
Yep.
So
That was effectively all he was doing, is keeping Worldly Talk as in check as one could with that forum.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So now it's more of a we keep an eye out for people who we think would create a positive influence on the community, like Amy,
And
and
then
we arm twist them, badger them relentlessly.
I was gonna say it's more like we corner them and give them no option. But
They
is
show up on the site one day and their name is Blue, and they have access to a new forum, and they have a PM from Colin saying, "Welcome to staff."
So
it really is, though. I'm sorry, Nathan. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
So it really is, these days, we kind of keep an eye out for either skill sets that would help a lot with staff that we're lacking in at the moment, or personalities that will mix. And it's important to note, personalities that would mix does not mean people that agree with us.
Oh,
Because staff chat at times has gotten very loud in a text chat sense. We all get along, we all love each other. We also have some very vocal disagreements about how to handle things, all that. We'll get into that a little later too.
And it's important to note that if you can't handle that in a professional manner, and then after agreeing to disagree and having a decision made, move on and keep being friends, probably not a good job for you.
No, it doesn't matter, especially, we'll get into that part later. I'm jumping ahead. But yeah, a lot of it now is going, hey, this person has either a skill set that's very valuable to us, and they're very active on the site, and they're very active on the Discord. And honestly, by this point, active on the Discord is effectively a staff requirement, because that is where the staff discussion happens.
It's nice to have it in real time rather than waiting for. Yeah.
Having done ever since we lost the shout box, doing staff discussion by forum, you can have an important discussion take 2 weeks.
Yep.
When you needed an answer within a day. So
that is, and we'll get into that later, but the fact that we have that rapid fire discussion prevents us from having to do a lot more solo modding like we did early on, which was a lot harder to
that sucked.
Get in nice even management of the site. So that's probably where we'll jump into. Well, what do we do as moderators? Well, we've got really 2 areas that we have to cover now. It used to be just the forums, and so we were reading a lot. Now we've got Discord, so we're reading more, and it's scrolling past faster. In general, anything that's a Mythweaver's owned resource, we put eyes on.
As much as possible.
Right.
So honestly, we probably should have mentioned initially in the who we are. We're all volunteers. Every single one of us. No one makes money off of this.
No.
Not even Rodrigo.
Not even Rodrigo.
Every penny that we get from the podcast goes back into the podcast.
Or
contests,
into
contests. Yeah. It goes back into the site somehow. Like, it's not money that I'm pocketing.
Yes.
And you can be a community sponsor on Mythweavers, and that
community
money goes supporter that goes directly to paying for the servers and everything, and
servers and upgrades,
which is not cheap.
And projects redacted, and redacted are all gonna be taking funds.
Oh yeah, Amy, there's a 3rd one now.
Okay. I'm like, I knew. I thought I knew about those. Oh, there's another one. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'll eventually hear about it when I need to.
From the chat, Tiffany, I don't know what Skunkworks is. I haven't heard of that.
It doesn't exist.
Can neither confirm nor deny the existence of anything with that title.
Yep.
Isn't that not Northrop Grumman,
Lockheed.
Lockheed.
Lockheed. Yeah, that's Lockheed Martin. That's nothing to do with Mythweavers.
Yeah.
We're not nearly that organized.
No.
We're organized?
The Discord actually, I think we've increased our staff size largely in proportion to the amount of Discord use that we've gotten.
That is absolutely true. The
Discord has taken off.
Well, I can't say the 2 most recent moderation hires. So Amy wasn't brought on for moderation. Amy was brought on for creative purposes. But the last before Fate, because Fate's the most recent, but when we brought Ambika and Josh on, it was in direct response to we needed more hands because of Discord.
Yep.
Chat is rapid fire on the Discord.
Yes, Amy is the Weave Mom.
Yes, she is.
She says with her microphone on.
I'm trying, because it's a loud keyboard.
Yeah.
And sometimes I play mom and staffed.
Oh god, yes, she does.
It's your own fault on the loud keyboard. You could get a quiet one, but no, you intentionally got the loud clicky one.
But it's so pretty.
Okay, it is pretty. I'll give you that.
Okay, moving on.
All right. The when and where questions for my 6th grade essay, I don't think those are really pertinent here because we're on as much as we can possibly, given that we're a community of 12 volunteers.
And where is kind of like we're all over. Most of us are U.S. based.
That is true.
And because overseas.
But that means that some of us don't sleep. Because I've
That's
seen
true.
Discord texts at 3 a.m.
That's also true.
Yeah. Do try to remember we do need sleep periodically for
Yes,
work
Mom.
purposes.
Yes, Mom. All right. So, but that brings us up to, well, why are we doing this? And as I said at the beginning, this really comes back to the type of community that we want to run here. As part of my penance for taking on this role as an admin, I undertook a collaborative rewrite of all of the site rules to try and streamline them and make them clearer and easier to understand. And really what struck me is the first page I went and looked at was the global rules, and it was kind of a tangled mess. And then I went and looked at...
Jumping ahead.
Jumping ahead?
Jumping ahead. We're still in Y.
Why? Well, but as I
Jumping
worked through
ahead.
those-
We're going into that shortly.
Yeah. Okay, but what I'm trying to get back to is the fact that the thing that struck me about the rules was the community standards, the
There we go. We're back on track.
spirit of why we are what we are. And those 3 points, really, we didn't need to edit at all because they summed up Mythweavers very quickly. We're a bunch of human beings who all respect each other for their right to exist. It's not about the fact that we're U.S. citizens or not U.S. citizens, or we're male or female, or for whatever orientation. It doesn't matter. We're all a community of people, and we're all respected as people.
Yes.
So that's point 1. Point 2 is that we're people who want to be part of a community where everyone's respected, where we follow the rules, where we work together to play collaborative game. And then part 3 is the fact that we're gamers. We're not just like having an open discussion on, I don't know, politics or math or whatever. This is a community of people who are coming together to play games, to have fun. And so between those 3 things, it sums up who we are and what we want to be. And everything else that we do as staff members here flows out of trying to uphold those 3 pillars.
Mm-hmm.
I will now take my Mr. Rogers cardigan off.
I tried to get Colin in one, but he wouldn't wear it.
No.
It
I
doesn't look like
still
cardigan.
can't believe one of the weavers sent me a harpoon.
You need to show that later in the show.
Awesome.
It's not ready yet. We're modifying it.
Okay.
All right.
To look like Harpo?
Anyway. Bullet point 2.
Yeah.
Oh, keeper of the notes.
Oh, keeper of the notes, fine. Obviously, because this is a public-facing internet community, there are legal and moral and ethical concerns that go along with running a community like this. It's people's creative work, not just the people who are on the site, but also the people who made the game systems or the game settings or whatever it is that we base our games off of.
Mm-hmm.
Images, what have you. We have to protect their rights as well. And so one of our key roles is making sure that people aren't abusing other people's intellectual property.
Well, protecting intellectual property and personal
creative works. We're all
personal information too. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. So privacy. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
we collect email addresses because that's a way that we as the site can reach out to you and get you the information that you need. We got to keep that safe. Hopefully you're using separate passwords on every site that you're possibly connecting to, but if you're reusing a Mythweaver's we don't want your Mythweaver's password to get hacked, so we're going to protect. We're serving you web pages. Some of them have ads. We need to make sure that those ads meet your standards. that they don't try and hijack your computer or lead you astray. So there's cyber safety things, and ultimately protecting everyone's right to participate in the community.
And we will touch on ads and what to do if there's an issue with an ad a little later on in the show too.
Yep.
Because there are steps for that. That's not a what you see is what you have to deal with.
Absolutely.
So we've handled issues in the past. We'll get into that.
Yep.
We have.
And then I guess the last thing, and this is probably the more obvious one from a user perspective, is dispute resolution, because we're a community of 12,000 plus active users now. There's
I think we're higher than that.
tens of 10 million plus posts at this point. There's a lot of
Active
information out.
members. We're coming out of the summer lull. Currently active within the last month is 9,167.
Okay, so just shy of 10,000 right now. We also cull occasionally and knock them off the active list when they're not posting. But when you have that many people, chances are you're going to find someone you don't agree with. And our job as staff is to make sure that you can politely disentangle from each other and go find separate corners where you can go play, because it's a very large virtual space.
Yes.
Not
And
everyone is good cut out to be in the same gaming group.
It's sometimes needed to be separate, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Happens in all facets of life.
Yeah. And this is the internet, obviously. For the most part, people are faceless. They're using pseudonyms, and everyone on the internet other than you is wrong all the time. So
Yeah.
all right, so we covered the why. Now, how do we go about doing what we do?
So
Don't everyone jump in at once.
Lots and lots of reading.
oh, so much reading.
So much to keep up on.
As I said,
Discord has been a lifesaver. I can only imagine what it was like before Discord.
We don't
got it.
talk about the dark times.
One of our site members, DM Atlas, asked, "How do you best manage the complexity, the amount of information out there, given that we don't let people actually delete things, only like soft make it go away and put it into kind of a trash can type thing?
No hard delete.
Yeah, we don't hard delete at all, and so he was curious as to why it is that we run the site the way we run it. I can talk from the Code Monkey perspective and say hard deleting things is bad, because you have the potential for ID collisions and all sorts of other things that can corrupt your database, and so we really want to avoid that aspect of it, because having to clean up the whole site from a database crash is, we don't want to do
No,
that
thank you.
ever again.
Yes.
Rodrigo probably darn near made his forehead flat, beating his head against desks and what have you.
Yeah,
Last
that was a bad period.
Mhm.
From the user side of that argument, the big thing is play by post is a shared medium. So you're creating things together in a shared space, especially in game forums. There unfortunately have been issues where someone's post gets deleted with their character and stuff. Well, that post is their intellectual property. If hard delete was an option, the game master just hard deleted it, they just lost all of that information. There have been multiple instances where someone said, hey, this post got deleted, I didn't get into this game, but could you at least recover this character? And if hard delete was enabled for that sort of thing, we got to go into database backups and forensic dives, and Rodrigo's head explodes.
We only got one guy doing all that right now. We can't split his time.
Yes, so it's one of those things, and like Eric has talked about, sometimes you have disputes about just not getting along in a gaming group. We're avoiding situations where someone might, out of spite, that's a GM, delete the info, character sheet, background stuff, all that of someone with whom they didn't get along with. So hard delete isn't an option because of both, the need to not have Rodrigo's head explode from the code side, and because we don't want people to lose their work because of a disagreement.
I think, Nathan, we've talked in previous episodes about best ways to manage forums and getting unneeded posts out of sight. So probably don't need to rehash that here, other than you maybe, if you remember what season and episode it was, we could link that up.
Archive folders. Make a folder, archive.
Yep.
Summarized.
Good work, Colin.
I'm useful still.
Yay!
Well, I know I wasn't hired to replace you.
No, he's not
Uh-huh.
that big of a fool.
Yeah, no. I'm
Really,
not
he
as good of a
accepted
shot
being
for
told
one.
he's an admin.
Oh, come on, he knew he wasn't.
Oh, I knew he was in trouble. Yeah. The moment
Yeah,
he got
when
told,
he said
hey,
that all want to voice call me at the same time.
when Rodrigo makes time for a video call, that's the I'm
You're
in trouble.
Yeah.
If Dave and I are doing a video call, that's one thing. If it's Dave, Rodrigo, and I, oh shit, Rodrigo's involved, I'm in trouble. Yep.
Yeah, I knew there was no way out. I could run, but I can't hide.
Yeah.
All right. So the other part of the how, I think we've just got one other part. Kind of. We got a few questions for it. A big part of how moderation happens is member reporting. And that is both on normal posts. There's a report button. I don't know. Nathan, can you show that by chance? I know, coming at you like completely out of the blue. So actually, that's a good one. So no, go back. Okay, so there's a report button, but also wherever you just were, some posts, like the first post in a game ad, you've got a little hazard sign instead of report text. That little hazard sign is a report button.
Yep.
And that has actually been an issue in the past with people going, I can't figure out how to report this. That little hazard sign does the same thing.
Yep.
So reports are a huge thing for us, especially Penchant asked a question about when we report a post, like when a bot is invading, where does that go? I know I flagged a lot of bots over the years, but I just assumed a ninja is called to dispose of the problem.
Usually Colin or Eric in that one.
Yeah.
We don't have addiction issues, really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we can't show you this, but there is a moderation forum where all those reports go, and they're just cataloged one after the other, so that any staff member can go and take a look and see the newest posts and just start investigating, figure out, is there an actual problem? Is there something we need to do? Or not?
Nathan could possibly show an actual reported bot post.
Yeah, that's probably okay. I just don't want to see the full list of threads because
we can't do a full thread list because the full, like the actual report subforum is not. Yeah.
Not public.
Yes. As Nathan digs.
Mhm.
Yep, there's a good one.
Yeah, Tiffany Corda asks, how many accidental flags do you get? Not a lot, as Amy put it.
Actually, very rarely. I think we've had a couple accidental flags in the past few years.
Right.
Because it's a two-step process that usually helps cut that down.
Yep. So that, like a reported post will pop up in a folder. Similar to how Games and Ads forum has folders, a game forum has folders, that sort of thing. We have a section for reports.
Yep.
So we just go to that forum, hey, there's a new reported post, and 9 times out of 10 it really is a bot.
Yep.
So, yep, and then we go and there's a handy little thing to delete a post as spam, which lets us delete all the posts by that bot and permanently ban the bot too.
Super
it's
helpful.
3 or 4 clicks, boom, gone.
And that unfortunately happens more often than we'd like it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It has cut down significantly.
Yes.
We got a CAPTCHA back online for the registration, and there's been a significant drop off in bot issues.
My favorite bot was the one selling fake passports. I mean, come on.
How many different varieties of www.fakerealpassports.cc could we possibly get?
I don't know.
We actually started, and it's a tool for the admins. We can block certain phrases or words.
Yep.
So we just made key phrases for the filter to catch, and nope, you can't post that.
Yep.
So
Sometimes
if a post contained real fake passport all in the same line, boom, gone.
Yep.
sometimes the nuclear option is the only option.
That bot was tenacious.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
No,
So then-
Shamey, next on the filter will not be gnome because Nathan doesn't have access to that.
Let's try and figure it out, though. All right. Penchant
What's the
further
question, real
asks, is it better to post a thread in site discussion if you have some public issue with a forum or something, or to send a private message to a staff member? And are there better people to bother than others?
List of
Always-
areas of responsibility is actually a good question, and
Yep.
I'll drop that link in the chat. And there's going to be a lot of links in this episode,
Yeah, pretty much.
and
that-
we actually do have DM Atlas in the chat too.
Yep. And that list is posted in the site rules so that you can find the person who most fits your needs. But in general, it's always better to post in site discussion because guarantee, even if we're showing as online, we're looking at something else. And PMs are not the first thing on my list. So I might miss it. It might take a couple days. That could be something that could be easily resolved by any of the other staff members if they knew about it, but they don't because it's sitting in my PM box.
Right. And if it's something sensitive along the lines of, is this okay to post, or looking for clarification on things, you can always harass Eric or me.
And you can put it in private text in the site discussion thread so that it's only available to staff members.
Yes. And unfortunately for Eric, when he agreed to admin, you can always private message one of us.
Yes.
Preferably not Rodrigo, just because dude's busy as hell. But I mean, you can if you want, but it's going to take a while to get a response sometimes.
Yeah. Then, and as I said, I will read all my PMs and respond to them, but there's a lot of other things going on, so that may not be the first thing that I jump on. So if you need an urgent response, there is always the Discord. There's usually a staff member or two on, and using the @staff mention will generally bring our attention in a relative hurry. Please try to reserve that for things that need a relatively hurry response. If you @staff at 2 a.m., well, I have
Yeah,
Peanut
that
still
may
on, so
take a
I'm not
while.
going to notice it. But
Might
Colin-
get some irate staff. Oh, no,
Colin
I
will
won't be irate.
stopping playing The Outer Worlds to go answer your message. He's probably politeness. Right.
Yeah, the only time I get irate is at 3:00 or PM. I'm like, no, I'm sleeping. Stop.
Fair enough.
Okay, good. Had to check and make sure the mic was on.
Nathan
right, so-
Kitty.
Kitty.
Kitty cat.
All right. So Absent Wizard asked us, do you have best practices to avoid letting personal feelings or biases or your moment-to-moment grumpiness affect the quality of your moderation?
Usually, what helps is that staff does discuss everything. There is no solo moderation. And more often than not, someone will easily and happily take on the contrary point of view. So
Regularly.
that, yeah. Wow, really? Okay.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah,
This may be a slightly longer episode.
Or we may have to split it.
We might have to. We can
we might
split
have
it.
to split.
We can finish up this section, and yeah, we'll split it. We'll make it a 2-part. For those that are going, what are they talking about? Nathan just pointed out in our little chat that we're coming up on an hour for an hour and a half episode.
Yeah.
And we haven't even broken open the site rules yet.
Yeah.
So we'll make this a 2-parter. So episode 14 is going to be moderation 2.
Because we're doing this for you.
Yes.
So you understand.
Right. And you asked for it, so we're giving it to you. We do keep a list of interactions we've had with members.
Yes. There
It's
is.
Not personal. It's just for our own benefit where we know that we may have been too close to an issue. It
Yes.
gives us an opportunity to step back and let other staff members put some eyes on it, so that we don't end up with a contentious relationship causing our moderation to stray in one direction or another.
Well, and it's worth noting too. I mean, issues where you've got, maybe a mod or an admin, might have a little bias in an interaction. I can talk, really.
Mhm.
It's something where, like Eric said, we maintain a list of, hey, I might have a contentious viewpoint where this person's concerned. People self-identify really quickly too. So I mean, we don't really have an issue where someone might disagree with a member and form a bias, and they go, "Oh, I'll handle it."
I'll
We
carry out
don't-
my vendetta.
Yeah, we
Nope.
don't really have that happen because, well, it's pretty obvious when it does happen because we've got actions that person's taken in the past, and then, wow, you really dropped the hammer on this one. Why?
And that does get
So-
into another way that we get out of that is that we do after actions. We look at our moderating
Yes.
actions and we decide, were we correct in applying the site rules and our interpretation of the site rules, and did we go with the right level of punishment? Sometimes a warning would probably have been sufficient, but we gave it an infraction that day, and we've gone back and reversed them.
We have absolutely reversed infractions, and so I mean, we don't just discuss after action. It's worth noting there is very rarely, if there's a warning or infraction delivered without a lengthy discussion in staff, it's because it's such a blatant and just outright egregious violation that there's zero question. Hey, this copyrighted work got shared. Hey, it's gonna be blatant for someone to act quickly without a discussion in staff. Typically, I mean, we've got at least a 30-minute discussion on average.
Yeah,
We've
if
had-
not longer.
We've had discussions that have lasted over a day before a decision is reached. So quite often for staff actions, like a post will get deleted and then there's discussion.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
much
we'll-
discussion.
Because we don't hard delete anything, that allows us as moderators to take the post offline and go resolve it. So we'll lock the thread, hide the post, go figure out what the right action is going forward, and then we'll act. The advantage of having the Discord cannot possibly be overstated. We ended up with
Oh God.
a lot more issues and having to clean up moderator actions afterwards back in the past, where we would take an action and then have to roll it back to some certain intermediate point.
Yeah, it wasn't a solo moderation issue so much as it was there weren't enough eyes on it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just because, I mean, like was mentioned earlier, we use Skype in a giant group text chat. It was a mess. It was Skype.
It was slow. It was a resource hog, and so people turned it off.
Skype was
People
good.
turned it off.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
Now there are better things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tiffany asked, even then you're not going to hard delete? It's like, no. In fact, we want the evidence there for our
Yes.
purposes, because infractions are temporary by nature. While it can get bad enough that ultimately we'll have to tell someone that they can't play on the site anymore, in general, it's going to be something where it falls off the radar screen. And so if an issue comes up 3 or 4 years down the line, and then we go back and look at the history of that user and realize, oh, they've had a problem with this before. Now we can go back to look at that previous post. It's still there.
It is worth noting, though, it is not common for staff to go, oh, they insulted a bunch of people like 6 times 4 years ago. It's going to be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
And yes, DM Atlas, it's one of those things, something there is a permanent record, but we don't try to discriminate on that unless it's a recurring issue. That's a very important note. We have had, I think we still actually have a couple staff that, before they became staff, got infractions.
Mm-hmm. Serious.
It has happened. Oh yeah, Nathan. Yep. So I mean, we do not look at past history and go, oh well, they're a rule breaker, burn them.
Mm-hmm.
It's what happened in the past? Were there exacerbating circumstances? We actually look at things. We don't just nuke the site from orbit.
Right.
Unless it's the Worldly Talk forum, and then, oh, that was joy.
Yeah, we could spend a whole episode on that, but we really don't want to. That's kind of like talking about the early history of the site, and we don't talk about the early history of the site. But yeah, as Tiffany Corda points out, people change. So we need to be respectful of their growth over time.
Yes.
There have been users who showed up, and within the first 10 posts of them being on the site, they were issued a 6-point serious site rule infraction for posting a link to a D&D manual that was not publicly released, or
usually copyright related.
Yeah, usually copyright related.
Yeah.
And I am going to do a brief aside on that. Not only is it one of those things that's illegal, but Mythweavers has gotten cease and desist notices in the past from publishers. We have, I think we have gotten twice in Mythweavers history cease and desist notices from Wizards of the Coast. So it's one of those things, copyright stuff we hammer hard because that threatens the site.
Yep.
Like its entire existence.
Yeah.
We'll get more in depth into that stuff when we do rules, but
yeah, go back to those 3 principles, and one of them is the community member. You've got to respect the fact that this is a community of gamers, and it's their livelihood to produce this information for us to consume and have fun with. So we can't take that away from them, ever.
But yes. All right. Anyway, so since we're going to break this into 2 parts because, oh my god, we can talk. I think we're at break time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're pretty much
Break
at break time.
So we're gonna
Break
take a
time.
5-minute break,
I will
which
sort out this resume.
we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna get on to game of the episode and the free for all.
Yay.
Sweet.
So yeah, be right back.
Oh, we're winning! Yes!
How can you doing this instead of watching game? We are ramming it down our throats.
I know it looks great.
All running game.
The weather is perfect for.
Well, I thought all of this. Any more stream. Can we listen to Dark? One.
Hi, Mrs. Nate. Oh, she can't hear me.
Back in the
What? Were you saying something, Colin?
Yeah, I was saying hi, Mrs. Nate, but Nathan doesn't have the headset on, so he can't even. And he fails. Okay, I'm gonna go and get another beer.
Sounds good.
A peek behind the curtain, you say, Tiffany? I wonder if Nate realizes he's not muted.
It's not muted.
I don't think Nate knows he's not muted.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, Nathan put up a break
Probably.
time thing.
What's going on? What did I think?
Nathan
it's
put
cute?
up a break time thing.
Isn't that great?
You know why he did that, right? Eric and I are why he did that.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be out of the room for 10 minutes, and Eric and I would just run rampant. Like, just engage the text chat at will.
Okay, so tell me.
So, which one is that wandering around in the background, Amy?
That's my youngest Thomas, and he's printing a resume and had to find nice paper.
Is
like,
that
really?
the one who is graduating then?
Yes. Yeah.
Just bring him to meetup. He doesn't need a graduation ceremony. It's high school. No one cares about high school graduation.
No, he does. He's my social one.
In here.
He is so social. And he wants that $100 from my aunt and uncle, and yeah, and then actually the day of the meetup is his 18th birthday. And then
Perfect. He's allowed to come.
yeah, and then any day after that is when he'll be leaving to who knows where.
Oh, and then you go through empty nester syndrome and you start torturing us as a result.
Exactly.
I'm kind of disappointed. So, this is an Imperial Stout. Eric's not on, so he can't even benefit. It's an Imperial Stout that's only 9.5%.
Huh.
Like, typically when you have Imperial anything, it's I am going to destroy your world strong.
Huh.
Oh, it's still good. Here. It's a little bitter. Eric.
I'm back. Clicky,
Yay.
clicky, clicky.
Well, we're not recording now, so I'm not muting it
Gloria?
to type.
Gloria, Strike Force. It'll at least yank the taste. I'm so sad that he didn't say hi.
Okay,
So
hold on.
fucking sad.
My son? Because I'll get him back down here.
Nell's just, hey, there he is.
Hey.
Here we go. Now try.
Hello.
Howdy. You get
Good
all
trying
of
to
us except Nathan.
Graduate.
Yeah.
Used to graduate, right?
Nathan's too busy
What?
looking away.
They're having a meetup on the 30th of May.
Yeah, We're
and they're
having a
saying they
big
want you to
great.
come instead of graduating high school.
No. He doesn't need
I
a
did graduate
graduation
before-
ceremony.
You do,
He
but the
does
30th is your birthday.
Yeah. I just.
birthday present. Miss Weaver's meetup. Game
Yeah,
of
that,
fun.
that could be my birthday present.
Shit
See?
mom off.
Shit, mama. That's true. He can come. Amy can stay home. Go to a graduation ceremony.
What ideas are you filling him up with?
They're saying to go to the ceremony, and I should go.
No freaking way.
I mean, really,
They
it's
wouldn't let me
she's
on
probably
stage.
she's probably keeping you off the Discord just
Who's your
because
friend?
we've already got your sister on here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
She's trying to minimize the damage.
He's saying you're keeping me off the Discord because you've already got Morgan on there.
If you ever want to join us, you're fine.
How bad could it be, right?
Yeah.
Hello, Alex.
You
One day I'll
just
get all three of you on there.
Maybe.
All right. Head up.
See ya.
Love you. You all done?
Yeah.
Yes, that is my youngest.
puppy.
Puppies!
We've seen dogs. We've seen cats. They're living together. Mass hysteria.
Nels is laying down underneath Gloria's desk. She is displeased by that. But he decided that is where he lays if she's at her computer.
Free footrest.
No, because if she tries to use him as a footrest, he's going to complain about it.
Colin, you're so evil.
That's awful. Because he's not looking at that either.
I know he's not. That's obvious. Nathan is talking with Alexandra without his headphones on. We're on break time. And I'm making comments and he's not looking at the Discord. Wait, you ready?
Uh-oh. What are you doing?
No idea.
I just
no.
Live mic, Nate. Very well done.
I just DM'd Alexandra. It's like, we're listening to everything. Nate's just not looking at us.
I guess I should listen to these hooligans.
We love you, Nate.
Oh yes, we do.
Uh-huh. We do.
So back to the show, huh?
Ours
mean-
were.
I already told Amy the reason there's a break time is probably because of all the times you've left the room and Eric and I just run rampant. Because I know it's not professionalism because, well, shit, it's our podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, Nathan, our mics were going out live to the stream. My son was having a conversation with them.
Well, no, not to the stream.
No,
No,
to the
str-
stream.
Oh, the stream can hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't you seen all their conversation about?
Yup. So, you sure? Wait, so text chat, could you hear Nathan too? I think they could. Oh,
Okay.
okay, not you. They could hear the three of us, but God, if I'd realized they could actually hear us, things would have gotten so much worse. I mean, I'm a mature admin, and things would have totally been. Yeah, we all
Reportable.
know that's a lie. We've got recordings proving. Yes, Ann. I didn't actually realize that we were audible. We just assumed that when Nathan threw up break time, he muted all of us.
Nope.
Now he has material.
Mostly on my son.
Well, you know. He seems fun. I can see why you keep him away from us.
It gets edited out.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
there
much.
goes Blade.
Hi,
Yep.
Blade. Tell her we said hi.
Hello.
Hi, Blade.
Hello.
So, for anyone that's been talking about how awesome the chibis are,
There's our
she's the
artist.
one making the awesome chibis. Yes, she is the drawing. Yes, yeah, you are famous and you didn't even realize.
Nice.
Yeah, everyone has been raving about your work for the chibis.
I am totally jealous and waiting with bated breath.
What are
to
you
see
filling her head with now?
Oh no! So
No, Jimmy.
out of our control, you're.
Thank you. You
Tell
check
her-
on the art? Yours is very light.
Tell her that out of our control, they've been turned into emojis by now.
That was her reaction.
Professor Nate, who totally looks like Indiana Jones in his
Oh God, yes,
opening,
he does.
opening scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Then we throw a fedora on him, and he's ready
Oh.
for action.
You know, I should suggest that.
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Because Professor Nate must look, like the proper rogue of the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give him,
okay.
give him a little scruff too.
All right.
That wouldn't be terribly
Yes.
realistic, but
Let's get this show back on the road.
you got it.
I don't think the
It's-
show stopped since the staff was, audible during
it's your
break time.
segment.
All right. Yeah, it is your segment.
It sure is.
Oh, wait, actually, no, hold up. It's actually my segment.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
right.
Yes. I inserted the meetup talk before you. I'm a
That works.
monster. So, without script, because who needs one of those? So, May 30th, this coming year, 2020, we have the first, what we're calling the Mythweavers Meetup, which is a live event. We're not calling it a con because it's going to be small. But we are having in Kalamazoo, Michigan, in the United States, we are having a get-together. So any site members can register. There's an announcement forum. There is actually the bottom right forum on the site's main page. I feel like Nate is pulling it up. Maybe. I heard clickies.
That's Amy's clickies.
Damn it, Amy. But we have a entire forum on the site dedicated to organizing things, people figuring out lodging, figuring out travel, everything. Asking questions about the event. We have registration links, everything. So registration is $30. It looks like originally we were saying no catering. I think by this point we might have lunch catered, as in forced down my throat.
By
Exact-
a certain
The exact wording was, "You can't stop it if 200 tacos show up without your permission."
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Yeah.
we may be organizing catering. I have no definites. There will be info on that.
There's still
But
like
yes.
50 spots left.
Yes, we still have plenty of room. And I know there are a lot of people just figuring out travel arrangements too, and lodging arrangements. And
Do go. I really
Yes.
want you guys to go.
yes, Amy is not going because she thinks her son's graduation is important.
Go figure. He only turns 18 and
But
Yeah.
so it's going to be on a Saturday. It's a full day of
Oh,
gaming
yeah,
and
Landon.
chaos. And if you don't feel like playing a one-shot adventure in a tabletop RPG, there's going to be a game board area and a card game area, and it's just going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Get together, hang out. We discussed doing a podcast during, and we determined between bandwidth limitations at the location and, well, we're going to be busy
And drinking.
and drinking. No, Eric, that
Or
okay,
I mean,
more.
we're planning on starting at what, 9 a.m.
Yes,
and
so
going.
doors are going to open at 9 and close. The absolute latest is midnight. That's the absolute cutoff. Could end before,
Probably
Good.
won't.
probably won't. But yeah, so May 30th, 2020.
Now,
yes, Chimmy, thank you. It is 18 plus
Oh,
because of
yes.
the venue.
No, it's not 18 plus because of the venue.
It's because we don't want the hassle of children running everywhere.
It's the venue this year, because it's the first time the site has ever done something like this. We're combating both small space with children, which we're talking the next year. It's going to be a bigger venue. Kids won't be an issue, but we're also kind of combating we don't want to wind up with someone that's underage just getting dropped off unsupervised. It's a liability type issue, and
we're a
going
small
forward,
business.
effectively, we are actually. I think we're listed as a not-for-profit.
Mm-hmm. But it's still
Yes.
business.
Yes, still business. So we don't. It's a liability thing because of venue and all that. So yes, there's a bar, but there's also a lot of non-alcoholic. It's a relaxed atmosphere. It's everyone hanging out, game.
Yep.
Getting to actually meet up because it's an excuse to do it. Because some of us have known each other for years and not gotten to do more than game via audio chat, playing a video game or something.
Yeah.
I
am
I mean-
actually really sad. I am going to miss them.
I mean, there have been regrets over, oh god, why did I invite them to my wedding? As Nathan
says.
when Nathan hears, oh yeah, oh, Colin was talking to my mom for half an hour. Oh god, why?
Because you were very talkative.
Nathan's mom is a delightful woman. She's awesome.
Yep.
But yes, so big gaming event. It's going to be fun. May 30th. Details on the website. Nathan, game of the episode.
Excellent. Tonight,
Please, can we move on from Colin
Now-
talking to my mom?
We were trying, but then Amy brought it up again.
See
Tonight's
this Halo right
highlighted
here?
game of the episode is Blinding Lights, GM'd by Wes. Blinding Lights is a Shadowrun 4th edition game set in Seattle, 2072. The group will be green, but not novices, having a couple of jobs under their belt, but not really established runners. Wes hopes the players will have plenty of time to explore the relationships among their characters as well as the circumstances they find themselves in, but notes there will absolutely be explosive combat on a fairly regular basis. Recruitment closes on November 10th, so get those applications in. And this is definitely one of the best Shadowrun ads I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I figured you would like it. I cast your vote for it, even though you weren't voting. I mean, that was a direct quote, by the way, from the ad. Absolutely be explosive combat on a fairly regular basis.
How could you go wrong in a Shadowrun game with that? I mean,
Exactly.
seriously.
Well, I mean, that's literally how the runs go wrong all the time. It starts great, goes wrong, and then there's explosive combat.
Or explosions. Sometimes together.
Yeah. Well, it was explosive combat was literally the phrase, so I'm assuming that it's going to be lens flare and
Or are we going Michael Bay with it?
oh yeah, that's what I've envisioned here.
Explosions equal plot? I had to.
All right.
Okay, moving on from my personal bias.
The free-for-all segment of the show is back again. In this segment of the show, we're going to open the floor for questions and answers, but we're also going to allow myself and my fellow casters to talk about anything we'd like. As always, this is going to be pretty unstructured, but it gives us the freedom to talk about things and still answer questions as they come in. So before we get started, we have the mandatory question, what's making us happy this week? And we are going to start with Amy.
Because Eric got up and left. I'm learning new art,
Ooh, fun.
which is why it's such a mess behind me. Blade and I, that's why she came in. She was checking on it. Blade and I are trying some new stuff. So,
Nice.
and it's my dad's 75th birthday, and we're going up there tomorrow. I have a
Nice.
dad. He's still around. It's awesome. I'm quite happy about that.
Nice.
Favorite pizza toppings: pepperoni and jalapenos.
Okay. No getting distracted, Amy. Focus. Focus.
That's what it said right
Yeah, but
there.
after-
Colin!
Damn it. I'm happy, so Gemini got t-shirt proofs in for Kraken, and Amy
Yay.
actually helped with the layout work and some art design, so t-shirt proof.
Mhm.
Ugh. T-shirt proof.
Very nice.
Very, very happy. It's been, God, Amy, what has it been, like 3 months in the making working on the redesign?
No, I think I started back before
No.
February on some of it, and then
Oh,
redoing.
sweet. Dear God, it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been that long.
It's been a lot of redesign. Also getting... Amy refused to
Oh,
give me an
oh.
hourly rate at first.
Yeah. Hey Nathan,
Here.
you gotta
I got
Real
it.
quick.
explain the wrong thing.
I got it.
Artwork,
Nice.
Ta-da.
Very nice.
and now t-shirt proof.
Oh, t-shirt proof? What happened?
Nathan was
That's-
showing the game advert.
He
Oh,
was listening
okay.
to us so engrossed
We
in
need
the
to-
conversation.
We need to see
T-shirt
your
proof.
spelt body again.
T-shirt proof?
Sweet.
Do you need to see the beer gut too? I can show that. I am in shape. Round as a shape.
Landed asks, can I buy t-shirts at Mythweaver's meetup? Are you talking Kraken t-shirts or are you talking Mythweaver's t-shirts?
I will have.
Wait, did I say that out loud?
t-shirts.
There will be Mythweaver's t-shirts. Amy's working on a few designs. There's, I think, long-term. Landed
See
hit me
Colin
up via
privately
DM
about
on
Kraken.
Discord. Yes, that's a non-Mythweavers thing that just gets talked about on Mythweavers a lot. Oops.
And
But yes,
Eric.
Yes.
I passed my 10-year anniversary as a mod. I got sucked into being admin, which I guess is a good thing. I mean, I've already made strides on replacing the wiki that everyone hates and revamping the site rules and I'm working on Discord integration bots so that we can pull Mythweaver sheets directly over into Discord. That will be fun.
Yes.
But aside from all of the headaches of being an admin, the swag was pretty nice because this was part of my gift. Is this is a panel out of a DM screen, magnetic, completely assemblable on the fly. It's really sweet, and I look forward to bringing this, if I can get it on an airplane, to the Mythweavers meetup on May 30th, 20.
Bubble wrap is good.
Yeah, it's going to have to go underneath, I think, because given the amount of metal in there, it probably won't scan very well through.
And
UPS.
that could work. Hi, Merlana. Bye, Merlana.
Yeah.
So, what's making me happy this week? I had my first session of my Roll20 game, actually. Am I allowed to talk about that? Is that like a thing that I can do?
Oh no, the
Offsite gaming.
the
6-point
laughter,
infraction.
the laughter. Nathan, if I may do a quick aside before you continue.
Sure.
Nathan is doing a live game. Nathan did, to be fair, he said he didn't do a Mythweavers level ad, but he still went way above and beyond the average ad that you see on something for live gaming. How many applicants was it total, Nathan?
98.
Oh my gosh. What system?
5th edition.
Oh my gosh. You poor thing.
But he didn't invoke the Dread rubric on them either.
Why
True,
didn't
I
you do
didn't.
that?
So
That would have helped so much.
if
'Cause
you're
I was looking
looking
for
at
players, not characters.
if you're
Okay.
looking at doing a live game like outside of Mythweavers, or you're gonna make it a hybrid, maybe don't do a Mythweavers grade ad on the live game setup, because apparently even like a low effort ad there is incredible. So
Are you streaming this on Twitch when you run it?
No.
oh god,
Oh,
Nathan,
please.
imagine if you had done a full bells and whistles Mythweavers ad.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Oh,
Hey, DM Atlas notes that game actually drew him over to Mythweavers. So
Thank you, Nate.
good work,
oh
Nate.
hey, Nate. How many more games can you run before your sanity?
None.
Go recruit. Spread the
None.
word, young man.
None.
Negative numbers.
Yes. I actually am. I am at -1 games at the moment.
All right. With that, pineapple on
West
pizza.
Smart.
Discuss.
Yes,
Pineapple
and
pizza?
that was a DM Atlas question from the forum. It's worth noting.
I mean, obviously, pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza.
You know, it's a personal taste. It really comes down to personal taste. Sometimes I am okay with it. Sometimes I don't want it. There
And
always
really-
has to be some sort of meat on it, though. Please, protein.
wait.
Thank you.
Wait, playing the role of the mediator. Personal taste is a thing. There is no right or wrong with pineapple on pizza. But pineapple belongs on pizza.
On pizza.
Grilled pineapple on pizza is even better than
Ooh.
pineapple. Oh,
Ooh, I should start making. I should brush up on recipes, start making pizza at home again, and we can smoke pineapple again.
oh.
Okay,
Yes.
now you're speaking my language.
Smoked pineapple and bourbon
Mm.
barrel wood chips.
Ooh. Yum.
Yeah.
I just don't. I got to get away from the tomato sauce then. If we're going to do that, there needs to be something else.
No, you need a better tomato sauce is what you need.
Yeah, something less acidic because the pineapple's acidic as it is.
Now-
Real
I will say-
buffalo mozzarella.
All right.
I will say this. Today, I had a pizza that was green pepper, olive, pepperoni, ham, sausage, and I think there was one more thing on it. I don't know, but it was delicious.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yep.
All right,
Don't
but
always have to have pineapple. Personally, my favorite's pepperoni and jalapenos.
so we got to be careful. We got a little moderation situation in the Twitch chat that we're going to need to deal with.
Oh,
Pineapple on pizza start a fight? Never.
Chimmy needs to be stood down.
Chimmy, stand down or I'm gonna make you a mod.
apologize, or your name turns blue.
Permanently.
No, I could never make Chimmy blue. He's too nice. And I don't want to destroy him.
Don't
And-
make me destroy you.
If Chimmy says, I'd like to start my 3-part apology by first apologizing to the Twitch chat.
And this is why we like Chimmy.
And then Landit's response is, Chimmy, I will deliver a pizza to you and throw it on the roof, Walter White style.
Alright.
Absent Wizard
This is
has a
why
question
we
for
love
us.
Oh,
we love our
God.
people. And this
Eric,
is
Eric,
why.
why?
Okay.
You couldn't
So-
resist.
Absent Wizard asks, if you're going into a period of lower activity, what are some things you can do to avoid entering an iodine xenon pit? Now,
First
for
of
those
all,
of you who aren't nuclear
skip the
engineers,
liquid phase and go to solid.
okay. The important thing here is you have to consider the 6-factor formula about
Oh, God,
site
you went
membership,
there.
because
went there.
to maintain a critical mass of site members, we have to have a constant influx and efflux. If we have too many members coming onto the site simultaneously, we end up with kind of this super critical situation where we won't be able to keep up with their posts. So we have to slap some of them down with the ban hammer to keep a level amount of numbers.
Not really.
The worst part about this is you put that question in because you'd already thought up that answer.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. Thank you for knowing.
In reality, if we
No,
ever need more
Station,
bodies,
stay.
if we ever need more bodies, we just volunteer more people?
Yeah, I mean, Chimmy can turn blue at a moment's notice.
No, I won't ruin Chimmy. Chimmy's
No,
the
You'll
nice one.
ruin me.
Not like we
Thank
ruined
you.
Fate and Amy.
Amy
No,
didn't
Fate was
come.
long gone.
Amy didn't come on for moderation. Amy got brought on for creative output.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
to
if
play
you-
mom.
If you
Actually,
needed a hatchet,
Amy-
she would bury it. Like,
Amy was specifically brought on with the promise she was not required to do any moderation.
Yep.
Which has
I
not
know
stopped
my
her
lim-
from momming a couple times.
No, I still mom, but I know my limits. When I reach that limit, Colin will seem like an angel.
Amy equals Mike. A nicer Mike.
When the nice ones break, it's always bad. That's why we can't bring Chimmy.
Yeah.
No, I actually, Chimmy, I don't want to bring you just because I don't want to break the kindness.
Yeah.
And staff just causes a cynical aspect to just emerge in everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a
I-
reason we police each other.
Yeah, and I admit I am a cynic, and I have often had to be the opposite viewpoint
I'm
Having-
in my
holding
own
you back.
household.
I'm holding you back.
Having been around way too long in a staff capacity, it is, well, honestly, by this point, I just find it hilarious when I get someone that goes, you know, once upon a time I thought you guys were heavy. But after 2 months of being a mod, I'm wondering why we don't ban more people. To be fair, staff gets exposed regularly to
Annoying
guess-
abuse.
Yes. constant.
Yeah.
It-
Well, the admins more so, because that's usually who you appeal to, and there's been a lot of abuse thrown that way.
I've been called so many things. It's fun. So many names.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Let's
I
let's
do-
not get into the worldly talk once.
I
I mean, let's just stick to
Yeah,
the explicit
honestly-
language once.
honestly, if we're talking about moderation, part 2, we probably should cover that forum.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to because I was thrilled when we nuked it from orbit, but we'll discuss that.
Why we have the rule against world talk.
Yeah. We'll have more time.
Why
to talk
we
about it.
destroyed the forum? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
So we need to finish up.
Yep.
Yeah. Nathan, take it
us out.
over.
All right. I'd like to take just a moment to remind everyone that this episode of Weaving Myths is made possible by our Patreon. Every contribution goes towards making the show better and keeping us running, and we are eternally grateful to all of our patrons. Most recently, our incredibly generous patrons have allowed Weaving Myths to be professionally edited, and we do have a brand new audio or logo. And there we go. Okay,
Whoops.
there we go. It's fixed.
That's my fault. I tried to edit the permissions for the After Dark, and something wrong.
Hey, you sound terrible. Anyway, continue, Nathan.
All right. Most recently, our incredibly generous patrons have allowed Weaving Myths to be professionally edited, and we have a brand new logo. If you were here at the start of the show, you likely saw it on the starting soon screen and also the break time screen. That logo was selected from a handful by our patrons, so if you'd like to be included in future polls, you should definitely sign up. As always, regular Weaving Myths episodes will be available for free, and signing up for the Patreon is never required. Full episodes will always be available for download and streaming free of charge. Now, for some thank yous to the extremely generous patrons that have signed up at the Platinum or greater tier on the Patreon, we have Absent Wizard, Amanda C., Sailor Myth, and Chimi. So, thank you all of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You're welcome.
And once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's been a blast, and we appreciate all of the comments and questions from the text chat, as always. For those of you watching the video recording, please don't forget to take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell on YouTube. It costs nothing and helps the show grow. I'm Nathan, and I've been joined by the magnificent Colin,
Been fun, everyone.
Eric,
So long, and thanks for all the games.
and Amy.
Bye! Don't forget to brush your teeth before bed.
Thanks for listening, and keep on weaving those myths.